up, you guys? Welcome to the February 23rd edition of NBA 3-Ball presented by Establish the Run. I'm your host, Mike Gallagher, getting ready to break down the Monday action, talk a little fantasy ads, but we're going to start off with the news. Doing this in 10 minutes. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe, please. And let's talk about a team that actually plays on Wednesday. They don't play today, but it's interesting. I want to talk about it. It's the Spurs. They are going to have no Keldon Johnson, no Devin Vassell, no Derek White, no Rudy Gay, and no DeMar DeRozan. So you're talking about, four guys who are rock-solid rotation pieces, and Devin Vassell has been contributing as well. So you ask, who's available, right? DeJounte, he'll certainly be starting. Lonnie Walker will be starting. You would assume Jakob Poeltl starts because LaMarcus is starting to ramp up a little bit, but it doesn't sound like he's ready. And then they'll certainly have Patty Mills either starting or off the bench. Those guys will obviously be really good plays, especially DeJounte and Jakob Poeltl. And then they're going to have their kind of fringy rotation pieces probably all in there. Devin Eubanks, Trey Lyles, Keita Bates-Diop, and they already called up Luka Samanic and Trey Jones. That's Tyus Jones' brother. And Trey's been pretty good in G League. He had a 29-7 a couple days ago, and he's pretty talented dude. Duke guy was, a lottery projected pick before he kind of fell off a little bit. So all those guys have been looking at pretty good playing time, especially DeJounte. We'll certainly have more for this probably tomorrow as we figure out what's up with LaMarcus Aldridge, but you could certainly expect a lot as these, just taking DeMar out of there just raises the ceiling so much for so many guys. Moving to the Warriors, it looks like they're going to get some bodies back. They had some practices for James Wiseman and Kevon Looney. Wiseman, may get back. He had his wrist reevaluated, but going through practice is certainly a good chance that he's out there. Kevon Looney's a little bit dicier, given that he has that ankle injury. He's hurt all the time. So either way, one of those guys coming back. We'd cut into Draymond Green a little bit because he's been so good as a center. And also Juan Toscano-Anderson, Eric Pascal was a little bit in playing time. And Kent Bazemore was kind of sneaky for a little bit, especially when Draymond was out. So, they're finally starting to look like their guys. If Wiseman's on the waiver wire, definitely pick him up. He was playing really well before he kind of hit the rookie wall. The Warriors play a back-to-back. Curry should be back, expected to play. We'll see if he's limited anyway, but I wouldn't think so. Let's move to the basketball and start with the Bulls getting a pretty easy win against the Rockets, 46-point third, to really get this game to get put out of hand. Highlight here is Wendell Carter Jr., baby, smash. Shout out to Wiggins for the flag plant. It goes 18-13, 3 blocks, 2 steals, and just dominated inside. This guy is skilled, man, really skilled. So it's only a matter of time. It feels like before he kind of had things rolling. And it's mind-blowing how this guy was never hurt. He said the worst injury he had before the NBA was like an ankle sprain, and now he can't stay on the court. So hopefully he has better luck. Certainly a guy that I would expect to trend up. And yeah, hopefully he could be the top 50, top 75 guy in season long, and maybe start to climb to 7 in a best case scenario for DFS. But certainly like what you saw there, and really nothing else to say. Kobe White got hit in the face. Looked like he was going to get concussed, but he returned and had a great game, 24-10-2. While Levine, a little bit of an underwhelming game, which should have been a pretty decent matchup for him. Moving to the Rockets, and no DeMarcus Cousins as expected. Small ball lineup as expected with the Tucker-Tate front court. And then no PJ Tucker as expected. No points, 2 boards, and a steal. Just, come on, man. He is the how bad could it be poster child for Andrew Wiggins' line. He's just so useless. It's crazy for how good he is on the court versus what he is in fantasy. And then really the surprise here was Justin Patton, which wasn't really a surprise, but he looked pretty good. Had 3 blocks, 2 of them were really nice ones, and he's way ahead of Rodion Skolroats, and he may get a shot here. Because we know Christian Wood's probably out to the break. DeMarcus Cousins' days may be over. And, Tucker and Tate can't play all these minutes, so, Patton, maybe he can find a little bit of value as a block stream or DFS punt, but again, I thought he looked pretty good overall. David Nwaba continues to really be productive off the bench. Should still be able to find time. And Jayshawn Tate, again, I don't know how much times I got to say it, but this guy is definitely fantasy relevant pretty much every night. And should also add that PJ Tucker, there's some trade rumors, which we kind of expected from the Ringer saying the Bucks are interested, which makes sense, right? Bucks are struggling. PJ Tucker is a good defender, spaces the floor, corner threes, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, he's probably going to go away. So, more reason to like Jayshawn Tate, more reason to maybe like Justin Patton or Christian Wood when those guys come back. And then also Nwaba, too. All these guys that are getting playing time for the Rockets may have some more value than you think. Moving to the Grizzlies as they run another 10-man rotation. Taylor Jenkins seems to really like that. Morant played pretty well. It was a dream matchup. Meanwhile, Jonas Valanciunas really struggled. Only scored 11 points on 5 of 18 shooting and 4 turnovers, so Dwight Powell locked him up, which was a kind of mild surprise there. Grayson Allen, Taylor Jenkins likes him in the starting lineup, and I don't know why. It got lit up again, so maybe that changes. Obviously, we know Dylan Brooks, so it's probably part of it, and we'll see if they continue to go big. And then Justice Winslow, man, goes 3 of 14 in the first game, gets his minutes increased to 26, and goes 1 of 10. Handles the ball way too much. I mean, he was taking the ball away from Morant at times, bringing the ball up, and it made no sense. So, I mean, Winslow's going to have to work through the rust. They want him to be the anchor of the second unit. They obviously invested a lot for him. They gave a pretty good amount in the trade to land him. So, they're going to play him. He'll certainly be better, but I wouldn't be too eager to have him on your roster if he's sitting out on the waiver wires. Moving to the Mavs, who get the win with just 102 points, surprisingly. No Kristaps Porzingis. We saw Maxi Kleber and Dwight Powell start in the front court. And Kleber sprained his ankle, did not return, so that's something to watch in a back-to-back set. You would assume Kristaps was probably just sitting for the back-to-back, so expect him to start, and they probably would go smaller. A little Finney Smith, Tim Hardaway Jr. Tim Hardaway Jr. just on fire. 7 threes, 29 points. Memphis defense has struggled at times, and they couldn't contain him at all. So, good for him. Dwight Powell's 27 minutes were stunning. You could expect those to drop, even with Kleber. If he doesn't play, you would assume they'd, again, go smaller. So, and Jalen Brunson, man, this guy continues to put up numbers when called upon. And he'll be, if Kristaps doesn't play, you would expect a lot of small ball for the Mavs. Miami gets the win in OKC without Tyler Hero. Eric Spoelstra said he would have been surprised if Hero would have played. So it sounds like he's going to miss at least one more. Hopefully you bench him if you're in a weekly league. But Max Strus picked up pretty much all of his minutes. Andre Iguodala also picked up a little bit of playing time as Spo went almost straight 7-man. Because he really wanted this win. And as he said, he wants Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo to run this offense. That's going to continue. Obviously, Kendrick Nunn was fan-freaking-tastic today if you played him in a pretty good spot. 41 minutes for him, so that'll probably get dialed back a little bit in the future. But, yeah, Nunn's, obviously, without Dragic and Hero, he's just set for as big as a role as he can handle. Thunder get the standard Al Horford back-to-back rest, so Isaiah Roby picked up most of the playing time as usual. Kind of a 28-20 splits, kind of as expected to get more Cambridge Williams, more Justin Jackson playing time to fill in at the 4, with Roby sliding up to the 5. Shea's starting to shoot the ball better. He's shot better off drives lately, tracked that in matchups. Didn't really do much besides the scoring, so it's a little bit disappointing there. Baisley finally getting his shot a little bit better here, while Dort is all over the place, man. He is total wild card GPP play. But yeah, he's certainly not a must-add if you have him on your team and you want to add somebody like a McDaniels or somebody like that. Blazers got smacked by the Suns. Suns just had great defense on Dame, really everyone. And just this is the problem again. The Blazers really 2 games in a row that nobody can really step up to help Dame. And that's going to happen a lot. They're picking up Dame full court. It's going to be tough. So keep an eye on that. Robert Covington 2 blocks, but other than that, nothing really to say on the Blazers. Suns, for some reason, the Blazers put Dame on Booker to start the game, and they were kind of chasing that the whole time, and Booker burned them with 34 points. And yeah, just pretty much balanced offense from most of the other guys. Chris Paul didn't really do anything offensively, 1 of 9, very surprising from him. But yeah, nothing to really take away. And their defense, the takeaway here is the Suns' defense can be really good when they're on. They have so much length, and Chris Paul obviously helps. The Jazz dropped 28 threes on the Hornets for 132 points. Shout out to my favorite stat, wide open threes allowed. The Hornets allow a lot, and they stuck it to them. They knew it. They launched 55 of them, and yeah, Gobert 6 blocks. Nothing to say. The Jazz just continue to roll with a really solidified rotation. And perhaps the big injury of the night is Gordon Hayward aggravating a right hand injury, but he's just day-to-day for now. We'll get an MRI, so it sounds like he didn't break it, which is good news. But yeah, obviously, if he's missing time, we're looking at more Cody Martin. Jalen McDaniels, not to be confused with Jaden McDaniels, look at more playing time. Obviously, Malik Monk will be looking at a ton of shots. Same with Rozier, LaMelo, and PJ Washington had 4 steals today. He's starting to get it going. He's really, really streaky, but certainly got to like PJ Washington. And then Miles Bridges as well would really benefit. Nothing really interesting to say in the Lakers and Wizards game, so let's get to the ads. And Miles Bridges, I'm assuming he's rostered. Jason Tate finally is over like 25% now, so that's good to see. Patrick Williams had a great game. I think the Bulls could finally start to get it going a little bit. Certainly like him. Probably already owned in most leagues. David Nwaba is certainly a guy that is going to benefit after your Jason Tates. Looks to be so flexible positionally. Being able to guard fours a little bit is going to help him get consistent minutes if Cousins is gone. Malik Monk would be the next man up to add after Bridges with the Gordon Hayward news. And then if you care, Cody Martin, and then after that, Jalen McDaniels, who I prefer Jaden McDaniels on the Wolves obviously a lot more. Jalen Brunson would benefit if Maxi Kleber is out. They will certainly go smaller. It's a good matchup to go small today against the Celtics. Dorian Finney-Smith will also benefit, lower upside. I think Justin Patton earned a role, and a shot blocker who earns a role should have your attention in deep leagues. So really just a streamer. Max Strus, same thing. He would be the clear beneficiary from the Tyler Hero news, expecting to miss probably at least one more game. And mentioned Martin. That's it. Catch you guys tomorrow.